What is up, YouTube? RSMario here, bringing you another Pokemon Legends ZA video. Alright, so this is part 2 of my series, basically creating Mega Evolutions for Pokemon Legends ZA. Or Pokemon that should get Mega Evolutions in Legends ZA. So, if you didn't see the first one, I'll explain to you what we're doing, but you should probably watch the first one. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking 12 Pokemon from the generations of Pokemon, generations 1 through 9, and I'm basically saying which Pokemon should get Mega Evolutions for each generation. Alright, the first episode was generation 1 through 3. This episode will be 4 through 6. So, of course, you want to continue getting videos like this from me. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to continue getting videos from me. Follow me on twitter.com/RSMario128. Like my video tweet, share my video tweet, and I will shout you out at this portion of the video. Alright, let's go on. Let's get on into this. So, because I started off the first one with a duo, I guess I'll start off the second one with a duo. We have Electivire and Magmortar. I think they should get Mega Evolutions. Alright, I mean, because there's been this pattern of every couple of generations giving something to the Electabuzz Magmar family. Like, so far, I mean, what? They gave them babies in Generation 2. They gave them evolutions in Generation 4. Why not give them Megas now? Or Regionals, which, honestly, that could be a new series of videos. Hey, you know what? If it takes long enough for Legends ZA to come out, that might be another series of videos right there. Look at that. Just make it content, baby. Making content. So, for Mega Electivire, I updated his stats, but the big thing here is his typing. I gave him electric fighting typing, because I'm like, come on, tell me this thing does not look like it should be a fighting Pokemon. Like, why is it not a fighting Pokemon? Like, come on now. This dude looks like he stomps niggas. Like, okay? So, of course, the other thing I did was I gave him a brand new ability. Okay? I couldn't really think of a cool ability for him, so I just made one up. So this new ability is dual channel output. Basically, it powers up electric moves regardless of its type. So basically, it always has electric stab, essentially, regardless of what type it is. So if you Terra this thing into like fairy type for whatever reason, it still has electric stab because of the dual channel output. Magmortar, I kind of did the same thing with it, but I made it fire poison type. This way it allows it to hit, it allows it to hit fairies, it allows it to hit other types of Pokemon like that, and it gives it more options, even though it does get a quad weakness to ground. But of course, I also gave it a new ability as well. It's called Backburner, which is kind of the same thing as Electivire's ability. It powers up fire type moves regardless of its typing. So these are some kind of like Terra-friendly abilities, if you were. Trinivant. Oh boy, I like Trinivant. Trinivant was like the olive Pokemon is to me now. I use the olive Pokemon on a lot of my competitive teams. I used to use Trinivant back in Gen 5, because you gotta abuse Harvest wherever it is. This time, though, I changed him to be a little bit more offensive than to be a staller. Alright, so I upgraded his offenses. I gave him some more speed, but he's still not that fast. Usually I say 80 is workable. He's got 76, so, it's kind of workable. But main thing is he got Shadow Tag. So, a ghost Pokemon with Shadow Tag, always a problem. Alright, and if you don't know what Shadow Tag is, it basically stops Pokemon from switching out. So once you switch in your Trinivant and they switch in something, you Mega up and they're trapped. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's GG's. So Electros. So this was more of a biased pick because every time I played Generation 5, I've had an Electros on my team. I like Electros. I think it's actually pretty cool. So of course I made it a dragon type because look at this thing. Why is it not a dragon? Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Why is this thing not a dragon? This thing looks like it should be an electric dragon type. And I think the only reason they didn't do that was because, of course, they had Hydreigon in the same generation, which was basically a Hydra. And they already had an electric dragon Pokemon in this generation as well, which was one of the legendaries because this was generation 5. So I guess that's why they didn't do it. But I'm going to do it today, though. Alright, I left his ability alone. So, I mean, because Levitate is the best ability for him. Alright, so next one is Dusknoir. So, Dusknoir is like the forgotten ghost Pokemon. Dusknoir was such a big deal back in the day. Nobody even really talks about Dusknoir anymore, bro. So I was like, let's bring my boy back. You know what I'm saying? So I upgraded his stats, of course, because it's a Mega type, it's a Mega Pokemon. I mainly wanted to update his speed. All right, I kind of pulled back on his defenses a little bit, so it's not this slow wall anymore. It's more of a fast striker now because the man's got fists. Why is he not a fast striker? You know what I'm saying? I also made him, you know, a new ability. All right, I didn't update his typing, but I did make him a new ability. It's called Corrupting Essence, and basically it makes normal type moves the ghost type, and it also boosts ghost type moves. So again, he gonna have a repertoire full of nasty ghost moves that he about to smack people with. Haxorus. Alright, of course, another Pokemon in a long line of forgotten Pokemon from Generation 5. Haxorus is one of those it's one of those Pokemon that, like, it's kind of like the Flygon of its generation. Like, it's cool enough to be a pseudo-legendary, but it didn't make it in because it lost to an edgy dragon. You know, it is what it is. So I brought your boy Haxorus back. Alright, so I've done a lot with Haxorus, actually. So I gave him a new typing. So he's Dragon Steel type. You know, I upgraded his stats. So, of course, you got to get more on that attack stat, more on his special attack. So this way he has options now. So he doesn't just have to be a physical attacker. He can be a special attacker as well. And he's definitely faster. 127 speed will make him kind of a problem. But not as big as a problem as his new ability. His new ability is Forage Master. So Forage Master makes physical attacks steel type and lowers the defense. And it lowers defense and raises attack when hit with fire moves. So basically, this would allow him to take his physical move pool and make it stab steel type moves. I told you, he gonna be a problem. So we have to find a way to validate this Pokemon being on Geeta's team. Go-Go. Alright, so this way, whenever you rematch Geeta, eventually she'll have a Mega Go-Go on her team. You know what I'm saying? So I kept it normal grass because I actually think normal grass is a pretty good typing. You know, it gives him a lot of options. You know, I kind of upgraded his stats. You know, gave him some more speed, so this way he can kind of, you know, manage to be a little bit better. But the thing is, I changed his ability. Alright, so his ability is called Mountain Goat Pelt. That's right, it's another new ability. So basically, with this new ability, he's not affected by entry hazards. And rock moves also become normal moves. And ground moves become grass type moves. This gives him a ton of options. Alright, so, I mean, you know, stab Earthquake, stab rock slide, you know, stab Stone Edge. Well, does he get Stone Edge? He might get Stone Edge. I gotta check again. But basically, making all these moves stab for him will be pretty good. And the immunity to entry hazards is probably enough to use him anyway. So Yan Mega, because of course, you know what I'm saying, everybody wants to say Mega Yan Mega. Alright, everybody wants to say that. You know what I'm saying? We need this to happen. Alright. So, of course, yeah, Mega, I'm going to keep him Bug Flying type. I upgraded his stats accordingly, you know what I'm saying? But the main thing here is, of course, he gets yet another new ability. So his new ability is called Forage Dragon. So basically, Bug and Flying type moves become Dragon type, but they hit Fairy types and are not super effective against other Dragon types. So basically, it's a faux Dragon move. You know, it has the the offensive and defensive capabilities of a dragon move, but it's not a dragon move though. You know what I'm saying? So that way it still hits fairies. Fairies aren't immune to them, but they're not super effective either. It's just normal damage. And it does normal damage to other dragons because it's not a dragon move. And I think this is actually pretty cool for him because it kind of gives Yanmega a weird niche you can put him in. You know what I'm saying? That'll be pretty fun to play. So, Garbodor. Alright, so Garbodor, basically the literal trash Pokemon, is not trash anymore. He's mega trash now. So, I kept him a poison type. You know, I upgraded his stats. So, you know what I'm saying, he's got the speed to be a problem now. You know what I'm saying? But the big thing about Garbodor, brand new ability, because, you know, I mean, I'm on a roll, I might as well keep going. So Garbodor's new ability is called Hot Garbage. Basically, it makes him immune to fire types, and physical contact with this Pokemon has a 40% of changing the target to the poison type. So, you know, I think this is actually kind of cool since he is kind of defensive. So hitting him might make you a poison type, you know, and it just makes him immune to fire, which gives him a kind of interesting niche, you know what I'm saying? So you can put him on like a sun team, and if somebody tries to get smart, like, oh, I'm gonna bust out a fire Pokemon, you can bust out your trash can and be like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? Or if you have a team that kind of heavily relies on Pokemon that are weak to fire type, this is a pretty good switch in. So Aurorus.
Oh, you almost had it.
Aurorus. So another forgotten Pokemon that actually looked really cool, but had a terrible typing. Rock Ice. Whoo, boy, Rock Ice is a terrible defensive typing. Really good offenses, but man, you get mollywopped by freaking Steel, Fighting, Rock. It's like not good. But I brought him back, gave him a Mega. Of course, it got a new ability as well to kind of help out some of his weaknesses. It's called Freon Aura. So basically, it does the same thing as Refrigerate does. You know, Refrigerate basically makes normal moves ice moves. This does that, but it also weakens super effective attacks to 1/3 damage. This way, he's not getting just annihilated by 4x weak moves that he has, you know. So, Carnivine. Alright, so I was trying to find some interesting ones that people aren't really talking about a lot. And Carnivine is probably that Pokemon. I think most people forgot Carnivine unless you watch the anime and you watch, you know, James use Carnivine like every episode in Gen 4. But nobody really talks about Carnivine, so let's give him something to talk about. So I updated his stats, you know, once he gets the Mega. So of course, you know, I gave him some more physical attack. I gave him some more defenses, you know, and some more speed, because come on now, what are you gonna do with 46 speed as a grass Pokemon, bro? All right, grass Pokemon have the worst defensive typing almost ever, you know, and so having low speed basically means you're just gonna be taking hits to the face and just die. So I updated his speed a lot. You know, I also made him grass normal type because even though this gives him a weakness to fighting, it gives him a resistance to ghosts. It also gives him a lot more options as stab options. You know what I'm saying? Because normal has a lot of different cool moves in, you know, in that repertoire that Carnivine will be able to use now. Also, I gave him Harvest because with these kind of defenses, Harvest basically being able to just reuse and abuse berries, I think will make him pretty cool. So, Beheeyem. I don't think I said that right. Okay. Alright, but basically another forgotten Pokemon from Generation 5. This is the alien Pokemon that you probably encountered in, like, I think you encountered this in the desert? I think? I can't remember. I know you encountered him somewhere in Generation 5 near the end of the game. But he's basically a garbage Pokemon. One of those Pokemon they put in that's just filling a deck slot at this point. So I decided to go ahead and give this man a Mega. All right, so I made him a Psychic Fairy type because, I mean, that makes him more interesting. I mean, fairies are just way threatening right now, seeing as though they hit dragons and fighting types. Of course, you know, it does give him neutral weakness to poison, but it is what it is. He's a psychic type, he can hit them. I updated his stats. That's the big thing. His stats are Garbo for an evolved Pokemon. All right, 80 speed is workable. You know, so I gave him 145 special attack. That way, it makes him a special cannon. This man is the special beam cannon of Pokemon, as well as gave him some defenses. Because the thing is, he didn't really have a lot of defenses, so he was slow and he wasn't exactly sturdy, which just kind of made him lame. So I fixed him up that way. But the coolest thing about him is his new ability. So I created an ability, Anti-Logic. So all stat changes are reversed and swapped. So basically what this means is it's kind of like Contrary, where, like, you know, if Contrary, like if you get hit with an Intimidate, instead of lowering your attack, it increases your attack. Well, with this, not only does it reverse, you know, the stat change, but it also swaps the stat. So if they're lowering your attack stat, it affects your special attack. So instead of lowering your attack, it actually increases your special attack. It makes him a really weird, like, RNG Pokemon almost. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, okay. You know, everything, he's literally topsy-turvy. It's like the anti-logic Pokemon. And of course, Malabar, basically the Pokemon that brought us Contrary. Now, Contrary in itself is an awesome ability. It's like virtually the only way you can really use, you know, Terra effectively. So I kept Contrary on him. I kept him a Dark Psychic type because that's like a really good typing. Now, the thing I did change was his stats. All right, so I made him faster. I made him more of a physical attacker. You know what I'm saying? Even though 95 special attack is pretty good, it's workable, but he is more of a physical attacker this go around. This way, you know, he has options. So if you wanted to do like a physical special split, and you wanted to do 2 physical moves and 2 special moves, you could. But yeah, I think this actually kind of works for him. All right, tell me what you think. So I had a little bit more fun with this one than I did the last one. But tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, keep it real and get ready for episode 3.